what the implications of that are. If many states are directing their attorney generals to work with you, are you going to be able to handle that? Are you trying to? Are there things we could do to be more helpful in the process of combining local forces with your forces?
First of all, we've asked for some more money in the 09 budget to continue to increase this 287G process, but we also have something called ICE Access, which is what I would call 287G light. It is a way we can, even without additional money, help enable local jurisdictions to assist us in enforcing the law, or at least know how to enforce these immigration laws. One of our main concerns is this. If we have people who are in custody in state and local jails, and local officials can begin the process of starting deportation procedures while they're in jail, we can essentially kill two birds with one stone. These people can serve their sentences, and then we can tee it up. So as soon as the sentence is over with, we can pick them up, stick them on an airplane, and send them back where they came from. So again, you know, obviously it depends on getting the budget money for 09, but we want to continue to build on this, and we want to encourage local communities in this respect.
But the problem with that is that local communities are now going to put these guys in jail. I had a mayor who called me enraged because an illegal alien who was driving drunk killed a couple of people in his town. And in the end of the discussion was, you have a choice. You can prosecute him and put him in jail for the crimes he's committed in your jurisdiction, or you can turn him over to ICE, in which case they'll do what they'll prosecute the crime that they have jurisdiction over, which will result in deportation. And he yelled at me, then he'll be right back next week. And so we have this dilemma of whether or not we put them in jail, but putting people in jail costs money.
Yeah, well, I go, it's worse dilemma. Sending them back costs money. You know, it would probably amaze people to reflect upon the fact that in many instances we have to pay airfares to deport people back to their home country.
But with all due respect, that is federal money not coming out of a city coffer.
You know, speaking as a taxpayer for a minute, it all comes out of the same pocket eventually, which is the pocket of the taxpayer. I couldn't agree more. The solution here is to focus our attention on making it very difficult, if not impossible, for criminals to get back across the border.
Well, you know, I'm sitting with Mr. King in front of me, and Mr. King made a statement on the floor a few months ago, which startled me, and I came up. He said that we'd only built 13.5 miles of fence. Now, Mr. King and you and I were on the border about a year ago, and we saw a lot of fence going up, and Mr. King said that he'd had 13.5 miles of fence had only been built. And I said, where'd you get that number, Mr. King? And he emailed his office, texted his office, and said, I got it from DHS. And then I had my staff call DHS, and we got the same number, 13.5 miles of fence, which I knew, and I think Steve probably agrees, was not the number of miles
I think we've corrected
wherever
that came from. It's been corrected. We're up to 304, 305 miles.
That's a lot more fence. Thank you for the correction. We sent you a letter suggesting that you put cameras on the border so that people could see what was happening, or put maps on the internet so people would see where the fence was built, when it was built, and what is being built currently. Is there? There's a lot of antagonism on this point. Can we just give some information about it?
Yeah, you know, that's actually a great idea.
Thank you. Ask the underlings who got the letter and didn't respond.
Yeah, no.
What happened to it?
I think we should. I think it would be. You know, obviously, we don't want to reveal things that are going to allow bad people to know what we're doing. But I think we could, at least in general terms, maybe put on the web kind of a tracker, you know, of what we do in terms of miles of fencing and things of that sort. That might be a very interesting and useful thing to do.
I have a bunch more questions, but I note that my time has expired. Always too little time for this sort of thing, so I yield back what doesn't remain. Thank you.
Thank you. The